Hello and welcome to the Research Methods module. Thus far, we've read about rhetoric, writing studies, composition within CUNY, and during this module, you'll be thinking, writing, and reflecting on research. So it's a good time right now to think about, how do you define research? For me, and within this module, research is the process of creating and challenging knowledge. Research methods, then, is thinking about strategies we use to create and challenge knowledge. Think about your own research experiences. How did you create knowledge when doing this kind of research? Did you look at history? If you did, then you used a historical method. For instance, if you engaged in a project where you wanted to create knowledge about the experiences of CUNY students, maybe you looked at old newspapers, maybe you looked at old archival video footage, and you analyzed what these pieces of data were telling you and created some sort of project detailing CUNY students' experiences. Or have you ever collected testimonies from people in order to answer a larger research question? Well, then you used people as method. For instance, if you wanted to get a sense of how COVID impacted student learning, you might interview 3 Lehman students and share their testimonies on learning during COVID. The idea of this module is to get us to think about how we research. What methods do we use? Why do we use these methods? For example, why might I interview people to conduct research instead of looking at historical data? Some might say interviewing people gives you more of a real-time, first-hand account of an issue. Why might you investigate a place in order to answer a research question instead of performing a historical analysis? Maybe you're interested in looking at the way a place has shaped our understanding of a topic, and so a place-based analysis makes more sense. For instance, maybe I wanted to create a project on women's safety, and I decide to detail how a specific neighborhood block looks or feels to get at how a woman experiences safety or lack of safety. Maybe for me, an analysis of an actual place like a neighborhood block answers larger questions about women's safety more than a historical analysis could. As you're reflecting on research and methods, you'll probably come to realize the methods we use to research depend on what we want to do, who we want to reach, and how we want to engage with the topic. In other words, what is my purpose? Who is my audience? And how do I want to learn and create knowledge? If my purpose is to help protect LGBTQ peoples and talk more about how to protect their rights, and my audience for my project are teachers, and the way that I want to engage with this topic is by thinking about why there's an increase in hate crimes as of late against LGBTQ people, then maybe my research method should be historical analysis, meaning I'll use history as my research method. Maybe I'll read articles that talk about hate crimes in general. Maybe I'll look at laws put in place over the last 100 years in the US meant to alienate LGBTQ peoples, and also look at laws that are meant to protect them. Then I'll craft a 1-page historical analysis in which I'm helping teachers understand how they can talk to their students about LGBTQ rights, homophobia, and how to be an ally. For this module, you'll be doing 3 things. First, you'll sign up for a specific method you're interested in reading more about. Then, you'll read all of the readings associated with that method. Second, after reflecting on what this method is and the examples you read, you'll produce something using this method. So for example, if you chose people as method and you really enjoyed reading an interview, maybe you can interview someone of your own and submit this interview as your experiment with method. Third, and finally, you'll craft a 3 to 5 page methods analysis. This methods analysis is your space to think through advantages, disadvantages, and features of a specific research method. For example, if you're interested in thinking more about interviews, You could craft an analysis of interviews. What are features of an interview? How are they useful? What kinds of research questions can interviews help answer? How are interviews as research method perhaps limiting? What kinds of research questions can interviews not really help you answer? In answering all these questions, you're probably also going to want to cite an actual interview to support your analysis. Feel free to cite the interview that you conducted, if you did conduct one for the experiment with method portion of the module, or an example assigned during this module. Overall, by the end of this module, I hope you'll walk away with a deeper sense of what research is and how methods we use to research are intentional and in fact shape the kind of knowledge we create. I'm here as always to field any questions. Until the next time.